Have you ever walked over to your fridge, opened the door, and pulled something out, only to find it doesn't look, feel, or taste quite right? Maybe it was a tomato that had gone soft and mushy, or a banana that turned black overnight, or maybe a slice of bread that crumbled like dry paper when you touched it. You might have shrugged it off, thinking, well, that's just how it goes sometimes. But what if I told you, the problem isn't the food, the real problem is where you're keeping it. Yes, you might be unknowingly turning your fridge into a silent threat to your health. And if you're a senior, or you're caring for someone in their golden years, this small everyday habit could be doing more harm than you ever imagined. You see, as we age, our bodies become more fragile. The gut gets slower, the immune system less responsive, and something as simple as nutrient loss or mold exposure can lead to fatigue, inflammation, even serious illness. So while the fridge might seem like the safest place for food, it's not always true. In fact, there are certain foods that should never be refrigerated, and yet almost every home is guilty of it, maybe even yours. And I get it, you're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to preserve freshness, save food, reduce waste. But what if, in doing that, you're sacrificing your health or the health of someone you love? That's why this video is so important, because today we're talking about 9 everyday foods that are quietly losing their nutrients, their flavor, or worse, becoming dangerous, simply because they're in the fridge. And trust me, some of them will surprise you. You might walk straight to your kitchen after this video and say, wait, what's that doing in there? So stay with me. We're going to walk through each food, why it doesn't belong in the fridge, what it does to your body, and simple, healthier ways to store it that'll help you feel better, eat better, and live better. But before we dive in, let me know you're here. Drop a quick "I'm here" in the comments below if you're ready to take small steps for a stronger, healthier life. And if you care about your wellness or the wellness of someone dear to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Because here on LifeStamina, we're building a community that's not just living longer, but living better. Now, let's take a peek inside your fridge and see what doesn't belong there. So now that we've opened your fridge and uncovered some surprising truths, let's begin with one of the biggest culprits. 1. Tomatoes, 245. Picture this. You're about to make a sandwich. You grab a fresh-looking tomato from the fridge, slice it open, and it's bland, watery, and soft in all the wrong ways. You think, maybe I just got a bad batch. But here's what most people don't realize. The cold is killing your tomatoes. When tomatoes are chilled, their delicate cell walls break down. The cold actually shuts off their natural ripening process, stealing their rich, garden-fresh flavor, and more importantly, stripping away nutrients like lycopene, which is essential for protecting your heart as you age. Many of us assume that the fridge makes everything last longer, but in the case of tomatoes, it actually does the opposite, robbing them of flavor and benefits. Instead, let your tomatoes breathe. Keep them in a bowl on the counter, away from sunlight. Let them ripen naturally, and you'll taste the difference. And if you thought tomatoes were the only ones losing their edge in the fridge, wait until you hear this next one. 2. Potatoes. Now think about this. Grandma's mashed potatoes used to taste just right. Smooth, savory, comforting. But lately they've got this strange sweetness, or even a grainy texture. What changed? Well, the fridge might be to blame. When you store potatoes in cold temperatures, the starch turns into sugar. And when you cook those sugary potatoes, especially when frying or baking, they can produce acrylamide, a chemical that's been linked to cancer risk, particularly dangerous for aging bodies. It's one of the biggest misconceptions. Cold keeps things fresh. Not true for potatoes. In fact, it could be quietly harming your health. So here's what to do instead. Store potatoes in a dark, cool place like a pantry. Not freezing, not warm, just cool and dry. Your digestive system and your taste buds will thank you. And now, something we all cook with but might be storing totally wrong. 3. Onions. You grab an onion from the fridge, start to chop, and you notice it's slimy, maybe even moldy. What happened? The fridge happened. Onions are sensitive. When exposed to the moisture inside a refrigerator, they absorb it quickly. That moisture leads to mold, soft spots, and quicker spoilage. Not only that, Onions also absorb the odors of other foods around them, which can irritate a sensitive stomach, something many older adults already struggle with. And no, refrigerating them doesn't keep them fresher longer. It actually shortens their life. Keep onions in a basket or a mesh bag at room temperature, somewhere dry and ventilated. Just remember, don't store them near potatoes. That combo speeds up spoilage for both. Now, from one absorbent food to another, let's talk about the one that soaks up more than moisture. 4. Bread. 6:30. Ever bite into a slice of toast that feels like cardboard? Not crunchy, not crunchy, but stale. That's not just old bread, that's refrigerated bread. Here's the science. When you put bread in the fridge, the starches inside start to crystallize. That dries out the bread, even if it's only a day or two old. And for seniors who may already have issues with dry mouth or difficulty chewing, this makes eating less enjoyable and even less safe. People think they're preventing mold by refrigerating it. But unless you're eating it slowly over weeks, the cold actually ruins it faster. The solution? Store what you'll eat within a few days at room temperature. Use a bread box or paper bag. If you want to keep extra, freeze it. Don't refrigerate. Let's move from dry and stale to sticky and sweet. 5. Honey. 6:30, 7:45. Have you ever pulled out a jar of honey from the fridge only to find it grainy, thick, or hard like wax? That's because honey should never be refrigerated. The cold causes it to crystallize. Not only does that make it harder to use, it also weakens its healing properties. You see, honey has natural enzymes that can boost your immune system, soothe sore throats, and even fight off infections. For seniors, these natural benefits are gold. And get this, honey is one of the only foods that never goes bad. You don't need the fridge. Just keep it tightly sealed in a cool, dry cupboard and it'll last for years. Now let's go from sticky sweetness to a food with some serious bite. 6. Garlic. 9. You grab a garlic bulb from the fridge and notice it's soft, rubbery, or worse, it's started sprouting. That's your fridge again. Cold and moisture trigger early sprouting and breakdown. When garlic sprouts, it loses a powerful compound called allicin, which helps fight off infections, lower blood pressure, and boost your immune system. Essential benefits, especially as we age. Here's the thing, garlic doesn't need cold, it needs air. Store your garlic bulbs whole, in a mesh bag or open basket. Keep them away from sunlight. Let them breathe. And now, let's move from garlic's fiery flavor to something soft, sweet, and tropical. 7. Bananas. You bring home bright yellow bananas, you want them to last, so you pop them into the fridge, and by morning, they've gone black. Sound familiar? Bananas are tropical by nature. They don't like the cold. The fridge slows ripening, yes, but it also disrupts the enzymes that keep the fruit intact. The skin turns black, the inside turns mushy, and what's worse, some nutrients like potassium and magnesium, key for heart, nerve, and muscle health, start to break down faster. So what's the fix? Let your bananas ripen on the counter. Only refrigerate them after they're ripe if you want to slow down the browning. But even then, eat them within a couple of days. Now, let's talk about something that wakes you up and might be going flat in your fridge. 8. Coffee beans. You brew your morning coffee and something's missing. The aroma, the flavor, the energy. Could it be your coffee beans? Coffee is porous, and when stored in the fridge, it soaks up odors from everything around it. Onions, fish, cheese. Not only that, but the cold creates condensation inside the container, breaking down the oils and antioxidants that give coffee its health perks, like improved brain function and alertness. So if you're storing your beans or grounds in the fridge, stop now. Keep them in an airtight container in a cool, dark cupboard. That's all it takes to preserve the richness of your brew and the goodness that comes with it. And finally, one that almost everyone gets wrong, 9 melons, the 13. Picture this. You cut a slice of watermelon expecting it to be juicy and sweet, but it's dull. The culprit? Storing it in the fridge before it was cut. Whole melons, especially watermelon and cantaloupe, lose their powerful antioxidants, like lycopene and beta-carotene, when stored in cold temperatures. These nutrients are crucial for senior heart health, eye function, and reducing inflammation. Most of us throw melons into the fridge the moment we get home. But if they're uncut, they're best left out, on the counter, in a cool spot. Once you slice them, then you can refrigerate in an airtight container, but always eat within a few days to keep it fresh and safe. Now, take a deep breath and think. How many of these foods are sitting in your fridge right now? How many of these small choices made with good intentions could be silently affecting your health or the health of someone you love? Because these aren't just storage mistakes. They're opportunities to do better, live better, and feel better, starting with your next meal. Let's talk about what that really means. Next. You see, this conversation isn't really about tomatoes or onions or bread. It's about something much deeper. It's about protecting what matters most: your health, your energy, your peace of mind. Because when you reach a certain stage in life, or when someone you love does, everything counts. Every bite, every meal, every tiny choice made in the kitchen can either build strength or quietly wear the body down. And I know none of us want to think that a simple act, like putting potatoes in the fridge, could have a ripple effect. But it can. Especially for seniors whose digestion may already be fragile, whose immune systems are no longer what they once were, and whose sense of taste and smell is more delicate now than ever before. That's why this matters. It's not just about taste or texture. It's about comfort. It's about preserving strength. It's about honoring the body that's carried you, or your parents, or your spouse through decades of life. Because here's the truth: aging isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's walking into your kitchen and wanting to enjoy your favorite foods, but feeling frustrated that nothing tastes quite right anymore. It's watching a loved one lose their appetite, not because they're picky, but because the food feels off, or even makes them feel worse afterward. It's the little losses that pile up until one day it feels like control is slipping away. But you are not helpless. You are not powerless. You're more in control than you think. And this video, these 9 foods, isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to empower you. Because knowledge is one of the most powerful forms of love. When you understand what your body needs, when you take a few moments to rethink how you store your food, when you remove what no longer serves your health, you're not just making changes in your kitchen, you're making space for healing, for nourishment, for ease. So take that moment, right now, stand in front of your fridge, look at what's in there, and ask yourself, not just, does this belong in the fridge, but is this helping me feel better or worse? Because replacing confusion with clarity starts with something as simple as knowing where to store a banana. Replacing fear with confidence starts with understanding how garlic works in your body. Replacing silent damage with gentle protection starts with you. This is your reminder. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You don't need fancy diets or expensive gadgets. Just a few thoughtful changes made with love and care can bring comfort, balance, and vitality back into your day. So yes, these are just 9 foods, but the decision to handle them differently, that's a gift you're giving to yourself or to someone you cherish deeply. Because in this season of life, it's the small things, done with awareness and love, that make the biggest difference. And those small things, they start right in your kitchen. Right now, let's take a moment to go over what we've learned today, because sometimes just a simple reminder can help the lesson truly sink in. So here's a quick recap. The 9 foods you should never refrigerate, especially if you care about your health or the health of someone you love, are tomatoes, because cold ruins their flavor and nutrient-rich lycopene. Potatoes, the fridge turns their starch into sugar, which can become harmful when cooked. Onions, they become soft, moldy, and absorb surrounding odors that affect digestion. Bread, refrigeration dries it out and accelerates staleness, making it harder to chew and enjoy. Honey, it hardens and loses its healing enzymes in the cold. Garlic, cold makes it sprout early and weakens its immune-boosting properties. Bananas, the fridge disrupts ripening, killing their natural nutrients and flavor. Coffee beans, they absorb fridge moisture and smells, losing freshness and antioxidants. Whole melons, before they're cut, refrigeration drains their antioxidant power and shortens their shelf life. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these foods surprised you the most? Maybe you've been storing bread in the fridge for years, or maybe it was bananas. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear your experience. So go ahead, scroll down to the comments and type it out. Let's have this conversation together, because chances are someone else will read your comment and say, "Me too." And that connection, that awareness, can be the start of a better, healthier habit for everyone watching. And if today's video taught you something new, if it gave you a little moment of clarity, a little spark of, "Oh wow, I didn't know that," then do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up. It's a simple gesture, but it lets the YouTube world know that this kind of content that's caring, useful, and made with love, matters. And if you haven't yet, I warmly invite you to subscribe to LifeStamina. This isn't just another health channel, it's a place where we value wisdom, gentle care, and truthful guidance that meets you exactly where you are in life. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or caring for someone who is, you're welcome here. You're understood here. And every week, we're sharing real conversations, simple tips, and heartfelt advice to help you live stronger, live wiser, and live with more ease. So go ahead, tap that subscribe button, join our LifeStamina family. You belong here. And as we close today's video, I just want to say this. Your health doesn't depend on big, overwhelming changes. It lives in the quiet, consistent choices you make every single day. It's in what you eat, it's in how you store your food, it's in listening to your body and honoring it with care. So be gentle with yourself, celebrate the small wins, take one step today, and let that step lead you toward a brighter, stronger tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here with me. Stay safe, stay vibrant, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.